Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about oral presentation. Oral presentation is very important for an engineer. An engineer should be able to orally and in written in a dialogue with various groups clearly explain and discuss the conclusions and the knowledge and the argument forming the basis of this. This is very important that you as an engineer or a doctor in the future has this, you have these skills in presentation in different forms. So today the focus will be on oral presentation. So first thing that you should consider for oral presentation is the audience and time constraint. So this is not a written report or written presentation like a paper or report that the audiences they have their own time and decide when and how long they want to focus on some parts. But in oral presentation, you have a limited time and you have to stick to that and to present the main core of your work in the dedicated time. Also, you should have attention to the audiences. So to whom you are presenting this result. If it's very different if you want to present your result for kids at the schools, kids at high school, or bachelor students of bachelor level, master level, or doctors, or with companies. You should consider the interests of the audiences. How do you transfer the knowledge and the experiences that you have achieved in your work to these group of people, these groups of people? It is not the same that you cannot present the same things that you do for doctoral student to the high school students. That's pretty clear. Therefore, select carefully the, the way of presentation and the subject and also the the way of the content that you want to present for the person based on the audiences and the time constraints. Oral presentation can be done in two ways. One is traditional. A traditional one is like an academic task, and we follow IMRAD format. IMRAD was introduction, methodology, result, and discussion. But the problem of this method of presentation is that you have the risk of lack of time to the most interesting part, which are around the discussion and the conclusion or result. These are the most important, most interesting parts of your work that you want to present, and they are at the end of this traditional method. And if you spend time on introduction and method defining the methodology, you will have less time probably in presenting your result discussion and your findings. Therefore, another method has been developed actually for that. This is called front page method. And as you see, based on this method, you focus on the most important part of your research and present it. Let's see how do we do it. Front page approach. How? Start with the purpose and research questions. State clearly these things in your presentation and present your conclusion in an overall manner. Very general. Explain what you have achieved. Then you explain your approach for doing this and achieving the result. Then in the case of different solution, discuss the strength and weakness and argue in favor of your solution. So you should argue that your method is better comparing to the other things, that other methods that exist, or what you have achieved is better. You will discuss this at the early stage. And then you come to these detailed conclusions. And at the end, you present the background. So As you see, the main focus is on what you achieve. What was the problem? What was the question? And you will answer this question in a general manner in the beginning. And you come to the approach that you have selected and you justify your result. So it is not like that you start with the introduction and giving background and methodology, and you start with the questions and conclusions. That makes the presentation more attractive, because the audiences can see immediately what is the problem and what you are looking for and what was the questions. Then they will get this. The brain, the mind of the audiences will be prepared properly for getting the answer to these questions. So, and you give this answer in a general manner at the beginning, the second step of your presentation. And then you will explain how you come to these things, explain the importance and argue about your good results and justify that your solution is better and be compared to others. And then you come to the background. So if you have not enough time to present the background, so audiences will lose not that much as you do in the traditional presentation. So I give some general advices now for your presentation. It's very important that you practice before presentation. Practice couple of times. Take time. Measure the time. So that if you are supposed to do a presentation in 5 minutes or 15 minutes, how you should discuss, how much for each slide, how many slides, how much for each slide you have to spend time, which part you have to emphasize. Think about these things before and practice. Measure the time and see if you can manage it. It's very important that nothing is left in your presentation during the dedicated time. Try to keep the audiences interested. It means the way of talking, how you talk with the over the presentation. Do not talk in a very monotonic way. With stress some part of the discussion. Even if it's necessary, stop, give a short pause, and want the audience, or ask the audiences to say what you wanted to say. So try to interact with audiences. It shouldn't be in such way, one way, so the audiences sit and watch you, and after a while it gets bored and get bored and do not listen. Keep them interested in your discussion, in your presentation. Do not read the text when you present. I have seen that in some presentations, the presenter just read the text on the PowerPoint. That's not the point for presentation. You need to give a title, and instead of the writing the text, you should need to talk to audiences in a very simple way. Very simple way. Don't make it like an academic text that you write down, very formal. Speak freely, speak very friendly, very nice and kind. That's very fine. If necessary, you can use a whiteboard, or nowadays you can have this touch screens that you can write on the screen directly in your presentation. That's very fine, because you will get attention. In non-virtual presentations, that would be good that you walk, move around the presentation. Go to the left, right, use your hand. You also try to use your body to get attention. That's really important. So to just assume that a talking face. So that's no, that's not interesting at all. Yes, you vary your voice. Sometimes you need to stress, as I said. Maybe you have to say some parts louder. Sometimes some parts with low volume. So, and ask the audiences to reflect. Also, it's very important that you stick to the content. So you are supposed to talk about the things that you have already decided. Don't get out of that, or don't get out of the subject of the presentation or the probably this conference or something. Stick to the content. Discuss about that, not more. I hope that this general advice and this person can help you to present, to have a good presentation in your field.